The Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy Episode 8 opens with a red star in the sky. This is a bad omen. Nobles cannot be born during this time. If they are killed. The king had a fourth princess born he sentenced to death. A duke did not like this. That duke gave the baby to Lord Edward in secret. They just had a daughter of their own, so they could say they were sisters. The baby who was supposed to be killed was Regina. The other baby is Razilia. Regina became a maid to Razilia, so no one would question a maid. Royal families possess spirit medium abilities. Regina was at the harbor to see her younger sister from afar, but then bad things happened. The only ones who know this truth are Razilia's platoon. Leonis tells Regina the princess was taken hostage. Leonis knows the girls in the banquet hall will handle things there. He and Regina go off to find the princess. In the banquet hall, Elphine has one of her holy swords above the chandelier. Her holy sword are orbs, so it is easier to hide than a physical sword. She tells Razilia the old man's wand sends signals to the apple bomb. If they take out the wand, the apple bomb will not be an issue anymore. Razilia sees something laying on the ground. It was either dropped off someone's plate or Leonis left it behind when he left. Razilia pricks her thumb to try to use some of her vampire powers that she has not trained for, but will be able to figure out thanks to movie magic and the power of friendship. When we change scenes to the bridge, no one is there. The controls are jammed and they cannot steer the ship. Regina says if she could hear the princess's voice, she could track her down. Leona says why doesn't she try reaching out to the princess? If she did that, she would know Regina exists. Leonis says Regina came here on the ship to save her sister, not hide from her sister. Regina is able to get in contact with the princess. The princess wants to know how this mystery woman is able to use her spirit to contact her. Regina replies she is just a spirit medium passing by. The princess tells her they are walking towards the flight deck. The princess tells her to not come after her. The ship is headed right towards a board reef. She needs to connect to the spirit monitoring system at the lowest deck to steer the ship. Luckily, the ship has Leonis. Leonis is the true hero. Regina knows how to regain control of the ship to avoid the voids, yet wants to save the princess. Leonis tells her, no, absolutely not. She can save everyone on this ship, so she needs to do exactly that. Leonis alone will save the princess. If Leonis wasn't here, Regina would have saved the princess to only maybe die from voids. Leonis is the hero of this episode. Leonis jumps off the ship and says kidnapping a princess is a day's work for a demon lord. True. And I really loved that line. Back to the girls in the banquet hall. Razilia has a super thin line of blood going from her to the wand. They are ready. They have to wait because their classmate gets a smart mouth and the demon humans are not happy. Sakuya drops a plate at the table and says, sorry. She somehow escaped. She said she couldn't eat with her hand tied. They are about to tie her up again when they notice her clothes. Sakuya is in the group of warriors who are crazy adrenaline junkies who hunt voids. It is time now for the counter-strike. Either all four girls planned this together or Razilia and Elphine got lucky. They disabled the apple bomb and take out the three that were holding them hostage. The four girls were actually working together. Razilia said the distractions could have been toned down a little, which is why I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't planned. The first thing everyone does when freed is grab their phones, not run towards an exit, but grabs their phones. And to make it even better, Razilia, who knows Leonis went after the other members in this evil group, calls him for a status update. No! What if he was hiding and now his phone goes off? His position is now revealed. Or he is fighting and his phone going off distracts him for even 1 second. That 1 second, the person he is fighting can kill him. Plus, Leonis was with all of them when everyone's phone got taken, so he shouldn't even have his phone on him. Never be like any of these characters once freed from a hostage situation. The ship has reached the void reef. The girls fight the voids. They have the non-student civilian group leave this room for safety. Leonis calls Razilia on the keychain he got her. Leonis tells her Regina is on the ship and he wants her to help protect Regina. Leonis does tell Razilia what Regina is doing and where to find her. At the flight deck, the princess is going to be sold to others. We check in on Regina, who Roselia comes help her fight the voids. We now move on to Sakura, who is also fighting voids still, with the classmates. A void known as a brain eater appears. Sakura says she wants to fight it alone. The other two can focus on the other voids. Once the other voids are killed, they leave Sakura and Brain Eater alone. We scene change to the lowest deck. Roselia will focus on killing the voids, and Regina will focus on regaining control of the ship. The passcode to access the controls are a reference to the red star, which it definitely hurts, but Regina says thank you to herself. She is able to gain access and has the ship turn around. Onto the flight deck. The princess notices the ship is changing course. The airplane tries to take off, however, Leonis is holding it down with his shadows. He had killed the voids on the flight deck and announces they will be punished for ruining his kingdom. In another scene change that I am just so done with this show, scene change all the time, we see civilians in one corner and voids in another. Sheree comes to the school girls' rescue and defeats all the voids for them. She did it while eating, because that is her character. She loves food. When we scene change again, we don't even see any action. We see the end results of a fight, and that is Sakura killed the Brain Eater. Now back to the flight deck. Leonis figures the demi-human woman in front of him gave the others demon holy swords. She asks who he is. Leonis responds, the Demon Lord. She doesn't believe him and attacks. Leonis blocks the attack with ease. The woman is in shock. That spell was one of the Demon Lords. Oh, it's true. This spell Leonis did actually create. Okay, so the Demon Lord in that time era is not taught in school. However, we have a potential first clue on this woman knows about the Demon Lord. She at least knows the Demon Lord existed. We could maybe question her about what history she knows, but during a fight, this clue will not be investigated. Leonis immobilizes the woman and asks what her goal was. She says to create demon swords and have offerings to the goddess. Leonis asks what is the goddess's name. Before we get an answer and we can learn something, she dies. No! We were so close! A Demon Lord Slayer comes out of her body and transforms into a machine monster void that summons smaller voids. This is a legendary weapon that is now a void. Leonis attacks. The attack does no damage. Even though this is a void, originally, this Demon Lord Slayer could counter sorcery, which it does still have that skill. The Demon Lord Slayer board teleports above Leonis. Leonis dodges out of the way. He sees the airplane being attacked by voids. Leonis knocks them off. The Demon Lord Slayer board teleports again, and Leonis avoids it by using his shadow to teleport. On the flight deck, there is a camera that Regina is able to watch this fight. She helps Leonis by activating the guns on the ship. She also has missiles attack. Roselia has arrived to help Leonis. Roselia fights the voids, so Leonis has time to summon his demon sword. Leonis is able to save the day. After every fight ends, the princess congratulates the girls in a private ceremony. Leonis nor Regina are there. Leonis skipped, and Regina wants to keep hiding from the princess. Leonis is sore from the fight and is laying in bed. Regina is there to check in on him. She baked an apple pie for him. Regina and Leonis talking is how episode 8 ends. And Regina, who watched Leonis fight, doesn't question any of his skills, which you think you would, but I guess whatever. This anime is extremely annoying with the constant scene changes. I like this show, but the show for me now is just okay. It would be so much better if there weren't constant scene changes and they just focused on one action for more than 20 minutes. YouTube, comment on your thoughts if you like all the scene changes or if you would want there to be less scene changes. Subscribe to my channel, please.